I'm Jim Clark, Director of SculptureWalk. We're going into our 14th year. 722 sculptures have gone through downtown. 56 are in SculptureWalk 2017. Very happy with the variety and quality of the sculptures again this year. A lot more abstracts this year, which is very nice. We like a good blend, good variety. We have 50 artists from 17 states, 2 from Canada. Many of them traveled with their sculptures to Sioux Falls. One from Connecticut, Florida, California, Washington State, north of Vancouver in Canada. That artist traveled 5,000 miles round trip just to deliver her sculpture to Sioux Falls. New artists, by the way, 14 new artists this year. Very happy to always have new artists coming to Sioux Falls. Sculptures come in Friday evening. We have a party for them. The next day early, about 5:30, we start installing sculptures, and they're all scheduled every 5 to 10 minutes. And we have 3 teams of volunteers. Many of those been with us from the beginning. And so we get done about 9 o'clock Saturday morning, and then the artists are free to experience downtown Sioux Falls.
My name is Lynette Power, and I'm from Winona, Minnesota. My sculpture is Clean Water Brings Life. So as I was sculpting, I mean, what better subject for the sculpture, for the project, than otters, because they're living in the water, they live in the river. And if the river gets polluted and dirty, they move out. Sculpture has to be well designed all the way around. So you're walking around it all the time, deciding how to make it interesting. And as the design evolved, the top otter, I put a baby in its arms and realizing that, hey, it's future generations that we're working for to keep this environment beautiful and healthy. And then also this bottom otter is just sliding down the branch, and he's playing in the water. And he is a symbol of our use of water for recreation, and that we need clean water for recreational uses and enjoyment of the world.
Fitzroy's guitar is a very abstracted guitar made out of steel. I painted it in a way to kind of, because it's metal, it will rust. But so I highlighted the areas that will rust, so it has a more natural look to it, so you can't really tell, and it highlights it in such a way that the rust lines will actually look like the strings that are coming down from the very top of the neck there. Being a musician of many years, I sat and stared at guitars, and I just started simplifying the shapes to 2 squares, a circle, and a rectangle. And it had been something stuck in my head for a while, and about a year back I had the material to finally make the idea come true and bring it to life. So that's where Fitzroy's guitar came from.
Willow is a representation of a female figure that is resembling a willow tree. The name is kind of self-explanatory. Don't want people to have to look at something and think about what it is or what it's supposed to be. So that's why I choose to use figures as sculptures, because we see figures every day, so we easily recognize the poses and positions of them. Depending on how the figure is posed, it really allows a lot of expression to be conveyed through the sculpture. So it's a figure that's dancing, and at the same time it may be a tree that's swaying in the breeze, kind of like a wood nymph. This piece is made entirely out of stock steel round rods of different diameters, 1/4 inch through about 1/2 inch. Each piece starts out as about 20 feet. So each piece is individually cut, shaped, and then welded into place on the sculpture to kind of form the shape of the figure. Well, as I started making a transition from gallery art into more of a public art setting, my pieces got larger, and I wasn't able to handle them on my own, so I would often ask my brother to give me a hand out in the shop. The more pieces I made, the more help I needed out in the shop moving things or holding things together. So he started spending a lot of time with me in the studio. Eventually it kind of came to the point to where he was spending so much time out helping me. He kind of thought, well, you know, if I'm going to be out here, I I may as well start creating sculpture myself. So he made the choice to start pursuing art as a career himself. It's been neat to watch the progression of his work from being a beginner to now he's standing next to me in the same program. When he's successful, it makes me smile because it's almost like my student is achieving something.
The comments we get from our artists, number one, they love SculptureWalk. They really enjoy participating with all the other very high quality sculptors. They build friendships and relationships with all the other artists. They really enjoy downtown Sioux Falls and all the friendly people that they encounter. In fact, that's the number one comment I get is, we love the friendly people in Sioux Falls. And all of that contributes to them wanting to come back, which is extremely important to SculptureWalk. And then we also have a new program called the Virtuoso Sculptor Certification Program. And that is that the 10 of the artists judge their peers and themselves for the quality of their sculptures Saturday afternoon. And we have 1 overall winner and 9 Best of Show 2 winners. To achieve the Virtuoso Sculptor Certification Program, they have to win one of those Best of Show awards 3 times over their career. So I don't know of any other certification program like that in the world. And so that's quite attractive to artists.
Hi, my name is Steve Bormas. I'm from Sioux Falls, and my sculpture is called School Spirit. It's a play on fish, and it's made of found objects. I'm a self-taught artist. I like to use found objects, and this particular one is made of old corn combine snouts. The eyeballs are Ford Galaxies from 1960s, and the teeth are made of deer antler tips. My inspiration for this piece basically came from, I had 10 corn snouts. I wanted to use all 10 of them somehow. And when I have insomnia, I put myself in my studio, and it took about a week's worth of insomnia to come up with this idea. And so for the last 2 months, I've been working feverishly on it, and here's the final result.
Over 100 sculptures in downtown Sioux Falls, including the 56 sculptures in SculptureWalk. Venture to say that's the largest public sculpture program in the country, particularly in the downtown areas. We've been building this since 2003, and we're continuing on far into the future. We've had 722 sculptures through SculptureWalk, another 150 through the Avera Indoor program, and many lease sculptures over the years. So we probably had over 1,000 sculptures in downtown Sioux Falls.
Salmon Runner is made out of aluminum, and inspired by my environment around me, where I live. I thought it'd be fun to do a bear. And he's got a river of salmons flowing over his body, and idolized the swirls of water that the salmon are consuming him, or is he consuming the salmon? I'm actually quite new to sculpture. It's only been 2.5 years that I've actually been sculpting. I do have an art background, but I took a welding course, and this is what happened.
I'm Guy Belliver. I'm from St. Charles, Illinois. The name of the sculpture is Prairie Song Q, and the Q stands for Quirks, and that started me on the series of sculptures I've done, which was called a Quirk series. And the Prairie Song, as you can tell by the red circles here, sort of implies a musical theme, and then the prairie part is the openness and the angulations of the sculpture, which shows the feeling you get when you're in the prairie and you just see the slowly rolling hills. So that and the songs just all came together for the sculpture, and it's made out of steel rod, which is reinforced with some internal mesh, foam, and fiberglass, and then painted.
The sculptures that participate in SculptureWalk also have the opportunity to lease sculptures to the Avera SculptureWalk indoor program, the University of Sioux Falls campus sculpture program. Also, we have satellite programs, great partnerships with Watertown that has 12 sculptures now. Vermilion has 5 sculptures, and the University of South Dakota has 7 sculptures. So the artists love these other opportunities. And I should mention too that we have about 23 sculptures every year that at least. On the East Bank, up at the airport. We just recently sold a couple of sculptures to the convention center. Even on 41st Street we have sculptures. So sculptures are spreading out all over the community.
This is Stories of Survivors and Friends, an anthropomorphic sculpture. All my work is anthropomorphic. And it's a raven-headed character, and he's a storyteller. He's going to be standing here telling stories for the next 12 months, so come on by, take a look at him. I feel that I can get a lot more into a conjoined animal-human character than I could get into either one separately. Of late, I've been enjoying the kind of a heavy outer garment on the characters. It offers a lot of room for drawing, imagery.
I had a client who wanted such a design, and I did research on it. It was quite fascinating to look at the different designs through history with military helmets. I have quite a variety of subjects and treatments. I do small to monumental work, and commissions from different sources for different subjects. So it's been educational and quite fun to come up with the different subjects.
Well, this is my 4th year in Sioux Falls, SculptureWalk. Glad to be here. And what I hope people get is they just take a minute and look at it. I mean, it's nothing that they have to take home and discuss as far as anything heavy-handed concept or anything, but it is sort of that modern world of the digital meeting the natural. And then I hope they just take a minute. It grabs their attention enough to at least take a minute and look at it.
SculptureWalk is a free outdoor public gallery of sculptures, 56 sculptures from some of the best sculptors in the country. All of the sculptures in SculptureWalk are on the sidewalks of downtown Sioux Falls, accessible to everyone, handicap accessible. Things that touched me the most was seeing a blind person seeing a sculpture with her hands and experiencing the art here in SculptureWalk. And I'm sure that happens quite often, but it would just touch me so much. And then also kids and seeing the sculptures, and many of the kids don't go to galleries, and so this may be their first experience in seeing sculptures, experience 3D artwork, and it's very rewarding. I mean, that's really the most rewarding thing about those of us involved in SculptureWalk, and that is seeing everyone enjoying the sculptures in many different ways. All of the sculptures are so unique and different to begin with. I mean, it really makes you think about what does it mean to the artist, what does it mean to me, and the textures and the colors are all different, and that's why we're just so happy to have such great variety with such high quality in our sculptures. For example, the sculpture behind me came from Heidi Hoy. She lives just west of the Twin Cities. And the texture on these horses is just spectacular. She was worried about, okay, Jim, where are you going to put these 3 horses? I said, well, I have a pretty good, and you know, it takes us from October, when the sculptures are selected by our selection committee, to about April. The sculptures are installed first part of May, so it takes several months to decide on where the sculptures are going to fit the best, because it's our obligation to put the sculptures in the best light for the sculpture. So this sculpture, three horses together, this is about the only place we could put it, but it fit perfectly because it's elevated and it's a large concrete pad, so we can get all 3 of them on the same pedestal. And all of the artists have commented about, it's really a great place we put our sculpture. Well, we work hard on where we place the sculptures, not only for the artists but for the public. We want to give the sculptures the best view, and we work on every element of SculptureWalk almost as in depth. The brochures have to be just right. The artist receptions have to be just right. We have to take good care of all of our partners. We have wonderful partners that help us make SculptureWalk a very high quality program. All of our site sponsors have been with us, most of them from the beginning, of 14 years, which is extremely important. And there's so many elements to the program that we can't let any one of those elements slip in quality.
So this is Portuguese pink marble. So it is solid stone, marble of course. And so I used various different tools, diamond blade grinders, some hammer and chisel. And then in the cracks, I hand chiseled all those out. And then I added white pigment, and then around them is graphite. And then I've sealed it all up to keep the graphite from smearing if it's touched. Most of my art, I have it non-object, abstract art. So I want them to, every person has a different interaction with it. So just to be able to look at it and try to find something that they can see. Or if they can't see any, just be impressed by the forms.
A very important element of SculptureWalk is the brochure and also the People's Choice voting. The brochures are in brochure boxes on each block from 9th Street to 12th Street. And the map is included in the brochure and also photos of all the sculptures. So be sure to pick up a brochure, look at the map, find out where all the sculptures are, and pick out after you do the walk, pick out your favorite sculpture and vote. The city purchases the People's Choice, and that sculpture goes into their permanent collection.
She's the inspiration and the struggles that artists have between, it's kind of like a blank canvas, and there's a songbird up there, which is inspiration, and there's also a crow, which is the negative part of creativity, trying to think of an idea.
And the thing is, it's interactive. People stop. They don't just walk by, they have to hit it, and it is great in groups. 4 people can play at once, and it's harmonic. It's not going to be too loud. It's such a fine harmonic wind chime noise that it's not loud. So it'll be a nice addition as far as the music. What we found in groups of people when they play this, they start all kind of out of rhythm, but they all have a generic caveman ability to get in sync, and before you know it, they're all putting out a rhythm that's just natural and fun.
Well, when I think of music, I think of beauty, and so it's a woman, and she's very beautiful and very graceful. So I just think it adds to the harmony and the harmonic notes. And there's no bad notes. They're all very, you can't get a bad sound out of it.
This is my favorite public art program to participate in. I think this is about my 7th year here, so over the years I've gotten to know some of the other participating artists pretty well. Look forward to seeing each other not only here but at other programs around the country. It's been an experience to be a part of this program for quite some time, because I've had the opportunity to actually watch some developments in downtown, not only with the program itself growing, but with areas that maybe the first few years that I was out here there wasn't anything in these areas, and now they're developed, busy areas with businesses and people just hanging out and kind of giving a definition to what public space is. The program itself is one of the best in the country because of the caliber of artists that they have involved out here. So it's a privilege just to be in the presence of some of these artists.
SculptureWalk is a 365-day event. Great for date night. Bring your families, bring all of your visitors all year long, even in the wintertime. The sculptures are up. They look fantastic. So come on downtown and have a wonderful SculptureWalk experience.